oftentimes we've said over and over again in the community, we need more language access, we need more language services, but it doesn't seem to resonate with the broader city family, maybe because of what we're calling it. But if we call it that we need this to stop the race war, because I'm telling you, like for the young people who are out there, the only thing that's going to make this go away is not dialogue, it's for this type of crime to stop. But in order for this type of crime to stop, it is not actually changing how people think about it. It is helping to make sure that those folks who do not speak English well are able to report crime at the same level, that they're getting services at the same level. Right? And I think that's what I think we need to prioritize within the budget. And, you know, we did this within the school system. We had these same problems. Parents couldn't communicate. They were getting frustrated. So we set aside $1 million for translation services. Full-time Chinese translators, 2 of them. Full-time Spanish translators, 2 of them. And also parents now can help improve the school. I guess my ask to the supervisors is, can we make this a priority? We have limited resources, I know that. Can we make this a priority once and for all?
Really easy answer, yes. And let me explain it. First of all, I came and I know Carmen came really to this. And we've been having a lot of conversations and a lot of meetings, and we will continue to have that. But to answer the commissioner's question, when we came into office, I actually passed an ordinance with the support of Carmen and Eric around language access. And we did this in conjunction with one of you around the table. And it was a requirement, really, that departments provide language accessible services. In particular, the police department and public safety agencies were prioritizing that. But we have known for a while that the real hang-up has been budget. And to reinforce the chief's point, right now we are facing a $500 million budget deficit. It's a little hard to explain what the impact of that is going to be, but it is, I mean, if you think about it, $500 million is going to be cut. All that being said, I, for one, and I'm sure Carmen will join me, I'm happy to prioritize. I mean, you know, with this crisis, we have an opportunity to finally get this agenda that we want, which is to make sure that we have truly language accessible city government services, etc. I think we need to make sure that not only do we have bilingual officers, but we have investigations that are conducted in Chinese, that we have district attorney victim services that are provided in multiple languages, that we're working together in a very proactive way. I think an idea that I had heard from several of you is that we actually, some point soon, have a series of events where we invite Asian victims of crime who feel like they have not been heard to come in and speak to bilingual officers and bilingual members of the district attorney's office around victim services to really bring this deluge of incidents that obviously have not been investigated to the forefront, and then figure out how to do this to move this forward. So that is definitely something that I would support, and I know we are all happy as often as you want to see us in the neighborhoods that we're talking about to convene these with the chief, with the officers here. But again, I know, you know, the challenge is we don't have resources, and this leads to the last thing, which is we need community participation, because not only can we not solve crimes that folks aren't willing to step forward, but because we don't have resources, we are frankly going to need at this moment some help with translations, some help with support from you to support victims who are obviously experiencing incredible, understandable fear, incredible, understandable mental anguish to work with us so that we can solve these crimes. But you certainly have my commitment, and I know I speak for all my colleagues that this is very important. And the last thing I want to say is the supervisor in this district has not been here for 2 weeks. Coincidentally, she is in China because it's actually been very important for her. She has had a long-standing relationship with many of us in the Asian community. She wanted to deepen that, and she just had the bad luck to pick the wrong couple of weeks. But before she left, she and I and a number of us here at the police department and now for the head of the MTA, we did an event early on where we talked about the new things, the new reforms we were going to do as a result of these cases that came through. It actually, frankly, didn't get covered by the press, and that was unfortunate. But there were things that we are trying to do And I have to say, this is extremely helpful to hear from all of you. I'll tell you, one idea that came from these conversations in the past couple weeks is a number of you came to me and said, we need to have a reward because this case is dead. And the chief and I spoke over the weekend, and he said, sounds like a good idea. We both spoke to Mayor Newsom, and we've got a $100,000 reward as of this week. And this, I mean, the way I look at this, these are tragedies that we have to turn into opportunities. We have to turn into positive things. And I think everyone around the table has tremendous goodwill, and I'm convinced that we can do that.